Alright guys, here it is. So it's a 1999 Ford Mustang V6, and I have a parts car that's identical to it. Same color and everything. This one actually came from the junkyard with a automatic transmission that was bad. I ended up using the transmission, the T5 transmission, the engine, and the drive shaft, and the rear differential out of the other car that I got, which is my parts car, and put it all together and made this. So I'll tell you a little bit about the build here. I have a UPR K member that's on the way, a tubular K member, so we'll get rid of this one. And I'm planning to route my downpipe through the area that goes, right through here on the tubular K member from UPR. Yeah. So before I blew it up, because the engine's right there, it was a completely stock 3.8 liter junkyard engine, and turbo is right there. So it's a cheap eBay turbo. It was just running about 10-11 pounds of boost, and it went good for a while. Been tuning it with the SCT through SCT. Got software from them, and yeah. So we'll go over to the motor here. I just pulled it apart, and wasn't too catastrophic failure, but as far as the block goes, it looks pretty good. There is some rust right there. You can kind of feel it. Might not end up using this block. I might use the block out of the other car. But as far as everything goes here, it's not too bad. Main failure was this piston right here. So what I'm thinking happened is got a little too lean, and the ring end gaps, where are they at here? They close together because this engine's obviously stock, is not made for boost. They close together, and then ended up making the ring lift and pop off a chunk of piston. So that chunk of piston got in the head there, in between the top of the piston and the cylinder head. This bearing's a little stiff now, so that piston's junk for sure. I'm not sure if I'm going to use that rod or not. I might use the one off of one of the ones off the other engine. It's the same part number. So the head, as you can see, the one on the right there is all cleaned up from chunks of aluminum off that piston bouncing around in there. So yeah, and then you can see on the top of the piston, right, kind of right in that area, you can see where it was kind of stuck. So I'm planning on doing just basically a stock rebuild on this engine with bigger ring end gaps mainly. So yeah, the clutch, I'm thinking I'll probably get a new clutch. This one was not going good for me. You can see a lot of hot spots on there on the flywheel, and that's what the clutch looks like. It's just supposed to be a heavy duty OEM clutch. Turbo, just a cheap eBay turbo. It's been holding up good for me. So that's the turbo. As far as exhaust pipe goes in the Y pipe, it's just a full custom setup that I made. Yeah, it's pretty hard to get a Y pipe, an exhaust Y pipe, down pipe, and whatnot for one of these cars for a turbo setup. So you're basically on your own building one yourself, unless you find one from a used one from TMA Turbo Kit. So that's that. Just a cheap eBay wastegate too. And then the intercooler, kind of can't see it. It's down there full of bugs. But just a small intercooler. Blow-off valve. All just cheap eBay stuff. Basically, the whole car is just a budget build. Cheap build. Just trying to, turbo a V6 the cheapest way possible. Did a couple things to the appearances of the car. Got some halo headlights. Planning on getting American Racing rims, 17-inch. Put some tint on, 20% tint. That's my brother's car, Mitsubishi Eclipse. He's got that turbo too. He's got all forged internals and stuff in that, but that'll be in another video. Not a whole lot to see in here, just AAM wideband. Ended up switching to a cheap aftermarket electronic fan that just gave me some more room in there. As far as the transmission goes, I did pull it apart, and I replaced third and fourth gear synchros because they were bad, and then I stiffened up the transmission a little bit, beefed it up a little, and then I got the short throw shifter on there too. So, yep, that is pretty much it. I'll be doing another video of when the motor's going back together, and then I'll have another video of putting the motor in and when I start it up. So any questions, feel free to comment.